Hello, everybody, and welcome to What's Real in Real Estate, where we talk about what's really happening in the real estate market. Glad to have you here. We got a great guest today, Chris Crooks, who you're going to meet shortly. First, we're going to go through and talk about some of the numbers, which I wish I could tell you they're much better, but they're not. We are down to probably a 3-week supply of homes. It's just getting crazy. You know, rates have creeped up a little bit. We thought we might see a slowdown, but I'm going to tell you, there was no slowdown at all. We have 1,871 homes for sale, and we sold in the last 30 days 2,502. It really is just not slowing down at all. I just saw a great presentation from Applied Analysis, and everything they're showing us, just for you worrywarts, there is absolutely zero sign of any kind of crash. 12 years ago, 78%, this is what we saw this morning, 78% of the homes in Las Vegas, in Clark County, were underwater. 70, call it 80%. Today is 1.1%. And quite frankly, we can't figure out even how that's happening with all the appreciation. But it is, so there we go. Listen, if you want to buy a home today, go out and make sure you make a good income, get great credit, because it just seems like if you're in that $400,000 price range or above, you've got a lot better chance. Look at these numbers. Out of those 1,871 homes that are available, only 345 are below $400,000. 1,539 are above. And when you look at the differences, out of there was 345 available, 839 sold, more than double of what we have available sold in the last 30 days, as opposed to 400,000 and above, 1,539 and 1,700 sold. So it's just, it's tough. It's tough. But listen, I tell everybody the same thing. I've been saying this for weeks, for months. Don't give up. Just make sure when you're ready to buy a home that you are prepared. You understand the market is tough. Don't take it personally. You just got to get out there, keep plugging and plugging and plugging. And from my own experience, I can tell you, I've got buyers that have put in 16, 17 offers. It was the 17th, 18th, or 19th that they got it, but they didn't give up. They're in the home today, and they're getting what they wanted. Before we get to Chris, I got to mention one thing I thought was fantastic. Last week was Super Bowl Sunday, and the economy may be tough. Inflation's up. We know all this stuff. But I'll tell you what, the sports books kicked ass and took names. In the state of Nevada, we have 179 sports books statewide. 179. We brought in over 179 million. I mean, each sports book for that one game took in $1 million. Keep in mind, some of these sports books are in Elko that have, they're nothing. They're small. But the sports books all over the state won $15.4 million or an 8.6% win percentage. All these numbers are records for them. So the economy may be bad around the country, but I'll tell you what, we're still kicking ass and taking names here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm double excited to have Chris with us today. I met Chris through the MAC. And he's the head of the MAC committee. This is what I'm going to tell you about the idea of kind of got Chris is. He's been in town for 5 minutes, and he's already just dove right into the community. This guy got involved in the community immediately, and I appreciate you so much, brother. You've embraced this city like very few do. So thank you and welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Ellie. Appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Great. Listen, before we get into commercial real estate, which is what Chris does, we're going to talk a lot about it. Tell everybody a little bit about you, your background, where you came from, and what brought you to Las Vegas.
Sure. Thanks again, and it's great to be here. So I grew up in Connecticut, New England. I went to school, University of Connecticut, and then immediately moved to Boston because Connecticut really wasn't very much fun. Got into commercial real estate there, and spent 22 years at a company called Cressa. We were a strict tenant representative, so meaning we only represented the tenant side in commercial real estate. About 3.5 years ago, I decided that the traffic, the snow, the cold, the cost of living was enough for me. And my wife and I found the perfect time. Our kids were in college or out of college and actually happened to be here on the West Coast. did some research, and as a, being in Vegas as a betting man, I bet on Vegas because I was looking at Denver and Northern California. I had a company offered me to run their office there. But when I looked at what could happen here and what I think the future was going to be here in Vegas, I decided that the best opportunity was going to be here, and I think I won. So
You did, and Vegas won. Vegas won
yeah,
big
well, thank
time
you.
getting you here, man. Because it was true, people look at Vegas, and I was one of those people. When I moved here, I didn't think about the community. I thought, here, I'm here to go. I'm in the real estate business. I want to make some money, enjoy the sunshine. I didn't like the weather back in Michigan. But when October 1st happened, when that shooting occurred, and I saw the way this community became a community, or was, you really saw the community shine, it changed my whole view. And you're the kind of person that just makes this a great community. So we sure appreciate you, brother.
Well, if you told me 10 years ago I live in Vegas, I'd say you're crazy. Coming from the East Coast, people don't really understand what Vegas is
No,
all about.
no,
They
they
know
really,
the strip, and that's it. They don't realize how great a community is, how welcoming it is, how open people are, friendly and helpful. So it's just been a great experience. My wife's here. We love it, and continuing. I'm never going to leave. I'm here.
good. Yeah, I love to hear that, man. All right, let's talk a little bit what's the commercial real estate market. What's things like what's really driving the commercial real estate market in Las Vegas right now.
Well, right now, what's driving the commercial real estate market is mainly people coming from California and businesses coming from California. I'll start with just the industrial sector. Companies have realized that the low cost here is a benefit, and even a better benefit than having to have goods come into the ports and have warehouse space in Long Beach, California, and ship across the country. It's actually cheaper to have them come there, ship them here to warehouses, and distribute from here. And so once that happened, and the prices in California went so high, uh, the warehouse and distribution sector just came here and space, and we don't even have enough space for that. And people moving out of California for the cost of living, taxes. And they can sell their houses that they bought 20 years ago and for two or $300,000 and sell them for over a million. Come here and get bang for their buck in their business. And I think that's really what's driving it is the cost of living, the quality of life, and understanding that Las Vegas has a great business community and a lot of great business leaders. And we're not just all about gaming and hospitality and
Right.
fun.
That's very true. Here at Signature Real Estate Group, when COVID hit, we saw the offices become vacant. I mean, the office was a little ghost. Even when we reopened, but people coming with masks, nobody was coming in. How
Yep.
about what did COVID do to the commercial market?
So, I'm trying to say this without saying it sound bad, but COVID actually helped Las Vegas in the real estate market because what happened is it opened up the opportunity for understanding that people can actually work at home, be productive, and then that opened up the opportunity for people to say, "Hey, I can go work in a different state and also, but still work in California, but not have to deal with the traffic and all the cost of living." As it relates to the office sector where people weren't working in the office, um, companies still, and it's actually industry by industry, and it's interesting because the law industry and accounting industry, they want their people to come back to work because these junior lawyers, no one's mentoring them. So you have to have that kind of interaction to have these lawyers grow in their business. What I was surprised at is the tech industry seems to be reluctant to bring people back to work. You would think the tech industry would be a little bit more liberal and just come on, let's go, let's get back in the office. But COVID's helped here, and we're seeing people going back to work. They're going back smarter. We're seeing it be more of a rotation of come in for 2 or 3 days a week and work from home for 2 or 3 days a week. But we're seeing companies still taking office space just in case they need it for when people do come back to the office. I think by nature we have short memories, and I think a year or two from now, pending any crazy pandemic again, that people are just going to come back to work because you get a little stir crazy at home, and not everybody can do it. But I think all in all, Las Vegas is going to benefit from COVID because you're going to find more companies coming here, technology companies coming here, technology employment where they can work for somewhere in Northern California, but do it from here. So
Yeah,
I'm very optimistic.
that's great. I know when we moved our office, and I was very comfortable working at home. I've got a full office at home, all the technology I need, and I didn't see why I'd be coming back. But what happened is, for like everybody else, how much can you work out of the house? It's nice to have synergy and energy with people, and yeah, I
Well,
can't get in the
creativity
house.
and yeah, creativity and ideas that come about when you're talking to people. And personally, I can't work out of the house. I'm maybe a little ADHD and the refrigerator and the TV and the dog. So, but I could see, but the people, some people are very productive at home, but there's still a human social aspect to it that
Yeah.
comes into play.
Yeah.
So,
No, very true. Actually thought when COVID hit and I saw what happened to the real estate industry with people closing offices and people working out of their homes, I thought the commercial market would die, not die, but really have a tough time. That isn't the case, though, is it?
no, no. So, couple things. There's several major developments going on for office space here in Las Vegas. I think it's over 600,000 square feet. It's the Uncommons, Narrative, the Sandstone Building, the Axiom, Howard Hughes Building, Summerlin 3. These are, 600 or 700,000 square feet of office space, brand new, and they're basically 70 to 80% already pre-leased and they're not even built. Okay, so
That's am-
that says something right there, right?
that's amazing.
The other thing that I found surprising as it relates to the COVID and like I thought retail was going to be dead,
Yeah.
and actually retail rebounded. And it's fine. We, multifamily, every sector of real estate in Las Vegas is actually doing very well.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. It really does
It
surprise
is.
me. So
I agree. It's like I'm
yeah,
surprised.
let's talk about diversification. Do you see how we can diversify? What is your take on diversifying here so we're not so, dependent on gaming and hospitality?
Yeah. And people say that I might be a little jaded because I'm new here and I'm very optimistic. I like to think that having come from Boston where technology was a major factor in a major industry. Um, these companies, their employees, it's all about their employees, these tech companies, and keeping them happy because there's to get talent, to retain talent, and to hire talent. So these companies that are going to offer flexibility to their employees are going to be the ones that are going to win. And what that means for the younger generation, these young technology, millennial technology employees, is hey, I can go live in Vegas. I can rent out a two-bedroom apartment for $1,300, $1,400, or I can be in San Francisco and get a 300 square foot studio for $2,500. Why would I do that? Have a car and taxes when I can do my job in a great location that's a lot of fun, that has a lot to give, and a lot of things to do. So I know several examples of young 25 to 35 year couples and single people who have come here and are now working for companies in Northern
Yep.
California and in New England. So um, it's just going to take a shift. And the one thing that we don't have is we don't have the educational structure to support that right now, but it's moving in that direction. Stanford, Berkeley, Harvard, MIT, those have been around for 100 years or 200 years, but we are moving in that direction. And so once our educational system starts to improve, and it has to, that's going to change. And what I'm finding is a lot of charter schools are coming into the city
Yeah.
who are focusing on STEM, and these
Yep.
kids need to get technology and engineering and access to that and understand it. So look, it's not going to happen overnight, but I'm looking forward 5, 10 years from now that we don't necessarily have to rely on gaming and hospitality. And if I can say one more thing, gaming is going towards technology.
Yes.
These kids don't want to sit down at blackjack tables and roulette tables and craps tables. They're sitting down and they want to interact. So the gaming is becoming highly technological and it's being developed here. So
No, it's
that's cool.
interesting. Is yeah, this fella Brian Gordon who spoke at the where I just was at the board from Applied Analysis showed there's 61,000 jobs that are not filled right now. He said they're not going to get filled because technology is stepping in. The casinos are using technology. They aren't going to need all 61,000 to come back.
Right. Well, checking into a casino now, you don't really have to interact with anybody. You go
Right.
to a kiosk,
Yep.
So that's a bigger problem. That the workforce is becoming more specialized. You have to be more specialized, and where those jobs going to come for blue collar type of jobs, or just working cleaning rooms or welcoming guests and things like that. That's a bigger problem, but that's
Yeah.
going to be nationwide.
Yes, yeah, it is. Going back to what you're talking about, people relocating here and working still in California. In the last, I'd say, 18 months, I don't know how many, but it's been a lot of people I've sold homes to here that are doing just that. Their
Yeah.
job is still in California, but because of the cost of living and because they can work remotely, they're working
Yeah.
remotely.
Do you have any stats on the percentage of home buyers right now in Vegas that are either coming from California or other states?
Just saw it today. 39% are coming from
Yeah.
California. 39
Okay.
point something percent. And I believe the next four states in a row was Texas. I can't recall, but that's not important. The point is here, out of the next four states, each one was 4%, 4%, 4%, 3. Is California dominates.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean,
we're getting.
California's doing us a favor.
Yes, I agree. See, some people don't like that. I hear this all the time. Oh, I wish those California was. No, we want them.
No.
Come here.
Yes.
They're bringing,
Calm
helping our
down.
economy. And that's exactly
Yes.
what Brian Gordon said from Applied Analysis. We got to stop thinking that way.
No.
I think part of it is people think of California politically. They don't agree
Yeah.
with some of the. Well, I don't agree with everything they do there either. But I sure want like one thing: bring the folks over here,
Yep. I
pay
mean, my
taxes,
house. I bought my house 3 years ago. It's gone up in value tremendously. All right,
isn't it?
and so
Yeah.
I benefited from it. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't open our open our arms and welcome in here, and let's boost this economy.
Absolutely. Our neighbor to the west is our neighbor to the west. Might as well come out and live right here with us. Okay,
And as
here's
soon as
one.
they fall in the ocean, we'll have waterfront property.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Because I sure don't want to go to Lake Mead. Have you been out there?
No.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah, I have that. Yeah, yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
quite. It's not.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. I was in Santa Barbara last weekend, so I'm jaded with what I
It's
think is
impressive to be I think the largest lake in the Western man-made lake in the Western Hemisphere.
yeah,
But well, listen, I'm also hoping that someday we'll get a little more rain, a little more snow in the
yeah.
Rockies, and
Let's
we'll
hope so.
get those water levels up a little bit. But I will tell you something else I found interesting. I'm getting off topic for a bit, but I was very impressed. I can't think who spoke about this. I think it was a preview for the chamber that we're using less water today than we did in 1990.
That's amazing. I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah,
Um, but what I also found out, I was working with a group of people from the Water Authority, or yeah, I think it was Water Authority. But I heard they told me that we reclaim 99% of our water,
yeah, yeah.
which I
That's
find
really
amazing.
that is amazing. When I take a shower, I don't worry about. I know the water's going right back into the system.
Yeah,
99% of it is. The problem I'm
99%.
concerned with is the people that still have grass in their yards and the
Yep.
municipalities that have grass in the medians and grass out. That is waste of water. That will never reclaim. And I'm glad that we put in that new law or I don't want edict, whatever it is, that by 2026, all that grass is going to be gone. I don't
Yeah. Well,
understand why they're waiting until
they're
26.
incentivizing. Well, they're incentivizing everyone to pull up the grass
Yeah.
and no, because they're giving, I think, a certain stipend to put turf in, right? So
Right. Correct. I just don't know why they have to wait till 26 to make the deadline. You think they could say 23, 24, but regardless, we're going in the right direction with that.
right.
I come from Michigan, like you come from the northeast. We grew up with grass. I used to love mowing my lawn. I
Yep.
made one of those angles, and my lawn looked killer always. I miss that
You're
walking
like
barefoot
you
in
look
the
like the
grass.
outfield of a baseball you look like the outfield of a
I
baseball
always tried
stadium,
to
right?
do. I love that. Yes, yeah. So I love grass, but I made a decision to move to the desert, and one of the
Yep.
decisions I had to make was: Am I going to be a jerk and continue to ignore the water issue, or so I'm very conscious of it, and I think a lot of people are. I just wish a few more would be also.
Yeah. But if you have to sacrifice grass for what we have here, I think it's a win for us.
All day
Really.
long, Chris. All day long.
Yep.
All right. I noticed that a lot of developing going on. And you said there's a great demand for office space. I would have thought COVID would have demand. We talked about this a little bit, but do you see this demand continuing for office space?
That's a very good question. And you'll get two different answers or three different answers from people. So I guess I'll give my opinion. Yes. I think that let's look at Vegas right now. We've got a football team, we've got a hockey team, we're going to have a baseball team, and I'm guaranteed we're going to have an NBA team. We're going to have over 3 million people very soon. Then people are going to discover Las Vegas. and I see it now. It's almost like this sort of snowball. I came out here, and I have 5 friends that moved from the Northeast to Las Vegas because they came and visited. And I'm not kidding. And so I think it's going to take time, but I think people are discovering what Vegas is all about. That it's not just about that 4 miles of casinos and hotels and
Right.
fun.
Right.
That when you get out to the east or the west, it's really a whole different world, and it's a great community. So, long term, yeah, I think
Right.
we're in the game. Our biggest limitation is land.
Yeah. That's right.
We might run out of land at some point because we're up against the mountains. The BLM isn't really releasing any land right now, and you mentioned in your opening remarks that the supply is way lower than the demand, and we don't have enough land to catch up to that demand right now. I mean,
No.
home builders are buying up everything they can and putting those things on the market, but they're going. They're selling before they even get built.
Yeah, they
So
really
we got to
are.
figure out a way getting the BLM to release some more land and get some more homes and here and some more multifamily housing and make room for people.
Yeah. I'm
I
hoping,
think
and
we're gonna go, Eli, I think we're gonna go vertical at some point.
well, I think so too.
Uh,
Now you're a
yeah,
golfer, right? You like to golf. Yeah. I,
I
I
do.
don't I don't dislike it, but I'm not great at golf. So I go once in a while. And I'm hoping that, a Royal, I think it was called Royal Crest, was sold to watercolors, the build developer. And they're on the east side, they're developing 1,600 what they call affordable housing, single
Yeah,
family homes in the low threes, the mid threes. We need it badly. I'm wondering if we're going to see a few more golf courses get sold and developed. Forget about Queensbridge. That's a whole different debacle. But
yeah, yeah.
we have so many golf courses out here. Any thoughts on that?
I never really thought about that. I mean, one of the things I can pinpoint, and so I don't have an answer for that. However, I don't know if you know what's going on out in Indian Spring, but they
Oh
just built.
yeah,
They have like a 400 development single family housing development out there. And when that was getting built, people were like, "You're crazy." Now, there's only so much you can rely on for Creech. Well, they sold every single house, 50% to private owners, 50% to military. So, look, coming from Boston, living 30 miles outside of the city is not crazy.
no, I
Okay,
agree
so
with
what's
you.
going to happen here is we have land to the south going down towards Arizona.
Yep.
Pahrump, I drove an hour and a half each way to Boston. Did I like it? No. But if I have to live in Pahrump and drive 40 minutes into the city and there's really not traffic here, eventually it's got spread. And so that's where I think a lot of it's going to happen. And people will say, "Oh, it's never Pahrump's never going to get developed," but it will.
It's getting developed.
I bought my house in Boston. I was 25 miles outside.
Yeah,
I bought it for $192,000. People said I was crazy. That house is now worth about $900,000.
yeah.
And that town that I lived in, which was literally the smallest town in New England, in Massachusetts, we were 165 at 165 population, is now you can't even get a house there. So that will happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually sold a home in Indian Springs this past summer, and three
Oh,
in
did you?
Pahrump. Yeah, three in Pahrump, and the Pahrump was purely economics. These were retired folks. They didn't care about the Strip by the way, most people don't realize the Strip isn't even in Las Vegas. It's in Clark
I
County
know.
unincorporated. But they were retired. They just wanted some decent land, a decent price home. All three bought homes, new construction, Beezer, under $300,000. And yeah, I know Pahrump isn't quite developed. Indian Springs got a long way to go, but Indian Springs is really only about a half hour from Sky Canyon.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So the interesting about Pahrump, my business partner, who's one of the top land brokers in Southern Nevada, if not the top land broker in Southern Nevada, just sold a tract of land. When you go up to Pahrump and you go up that hill
Yep.
and you're just about to come down, about 450 acres, I believe it was,
Wow.
to a residential developer.
That's
That
great.
they're going to scrape it. So I mean, it's already happening. It's not like I'm predicting anything or I'm visionary. It's just going to happen.
No, but that's good news. That's really good news to hear. I love that. All right, listen, we're almost running out of time. I want to talk about a few more things. Number one, can you talk about the Mac Night Out?
Absolutely. So the Mac Night Out, for those of you who don't know, it's an opportunity for Las Vegas Chamber, Clark County, everybody to honor our airmen and women who serve us at Creech and at Nellis. Um, One thing that I don't know if people understand or know about, but Creech and Nellis bring in about $5 billion plus dollars a year to our economy. They're super important. Plus, they're protecting our country. Um, so we really want to honor these people. So JD Daniels, who was the original chairman of the MAC, developed a program to honor 4 airmen and women from Nellis and 4 from Creech at different categories, and it's going to be May 18th this year. We had an incredible event last year at the
Oh,
Westgate in August. If it's just, I mean, you were there. The camaraderie amongst all the airmen and women. They came dressed in their uniforms. They were cheering each other on when they won. We had the community of Las Vegas there, sitting with them, shaking their hands, talking to them, understanding what they do and how much they do for us. So this year it's going to be May 18th at the Westgate. We had, I think, 300 people last year. We'd love to have more, and it's just an opportunity for us to go out and really shake hands and honor those people who really go out on a limb every day. And
no, it was fantastic. Not only was the event great, but you think about it, we were still in a major mask mandate.
yes,
And I don't know how great it's going to be, but I think it's going to be even better than last year. I mean, how can people get tickets, Chris? Is it on the calendar yet?
it's not on the calendar yet, but it'll be on. You can go to the Las Vegas Chamber website. I'd say about in a week.
Okay.
So it'll be available there. Anyone can ever get in touch with me, chris.crooks at nmrk.com. It's one comment I want to make. I don't know, we had the former Brigadier General Rob Novotny as the MC. He's doing it again
Yep.
this year.
Oh, great.
Maybe entertaining,
Who is?
funny.
Oh,
General
he's.
Novotny.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He's great. He's great. Yeah.
Really, just he made the night just with his with
Well,
what
I'll
he
tell
understood
you,
about what people do.
my thrill of the evening was I had dinner, sat at the same table as Colonel Bailey,
Oh, Colonel Bailey's
and he
amazing.
gave me a challenge coin.
Oh, did he get? Oh,
Oh
wow.
man, what a thrill!
Oh, man.
What a
I didn't
great
get one of
guy.
those.
Yeah. Well, he's gone now. He left town, didn't he?
If I can make one more comment about the Mac that I think
Yeah.
it's really struck me is when I got there, I was making it a point to go around and meeting as many of the airmen and women as I can, and especially the honorees. And there was a young woman, 19 years old, who was there early with a gentleman. And I went up and I was just talking to her, and the gentleman stood up, and it was her father. And her father had flown in from Connecticut specifically to see his daughter get honored.
That's great.
And that's where I was like, okay, we're doing something. We're doing
Yeah, we
something good
really
here.
are. It's a great group. You really have done
Yeah.
an amazing job leading us in that with the Mac. I mean, just you've
Well,
been
thank
so
you.
dedicated and
You
just
guys have been amazing too. So I
well,
mean, I
it's
couldn't do
been
without
it's been
anybody.
wonderful. It's a great group of people, and I'm real excited about the future of the Mac. And so May 18th, tickets will be
Westgate
on the
Hotel.
Vegas Chamber website probably end of next week sometime. They can go on and
I'd
get
say
them.
before the end of the month because we just picked a date. We had a meeting last week about just getting everything coordinated. So yeah, if you can attend, come. It's a great event, great food, but it's more importantly honoring people who are
That's
are,
right.
are
That's
important and
right.
valuable to our community and our country.
Yeah. And if you have any questions about it or if you need to get tickets, you can always reach out to me too. You got my number at
Yep.
702 236 1095. I'll guide you the way. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Hope a lot of you can
Awesome.
come and enjoy the evening with us. A couple more things, Chris. I like to always ask our guests because you're newer in Vegas. So let's talk a little about your experience here. You got a favorite restaurant in town?
Oh, that's hard.
I know.
Um, right now, my favorite restaurant is called Al Sal Polito. It
Ooh.
just opened in Tivoli Village. It's the chef and owner of Esther's Kitchen. If anyone's ever been there downtown,
Oh, yeah.
um, it's spectacular. But also, Harlow's just opened up in Summerlin, where Andiron used to be. It's so hard. I mean, the food choices here are just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I would say go to El Sol Polito, suburban restaurant. You don't have to go onto the strip if you don't want to.
Is that where
A
Brio
little bit
used to be?
jaded when it comes.
Is that where Brio?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Ellie, you gotta try it. It's amazing. It really
Okay.
is.
Good tip,
And
man.
if you're gonna go to the strip, I'm jaded. My son's one of the managers of the Tao restaurant, but there's all great restaurants on the strip.
Listen,
So
when it comes to food, it's hard to beat Las Vegas.
you can't be. It's amazing.
No.
It's insane.
As a matter of fact, this is not my opinion. This is a fact. There's only five There's only two cities that have what I think is 5-star Michelin rating, whatever, and it's us in New
Five-star
York.
Michelin, yeah.
That's it. It's Vegas and New York. Nobody else. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Strip for a bit, or shows in general. You got a favorite show here in town?
Yeah, my favorite show would be the Saloon. Ah, it's at the Venetian. It was the something Saloon, and I went to see it twice. I love the absinthe shows. Oh, you know what though? I'm gonna back up on that. Uh, the Beatles.
Oh,
The
Love.
Beatles is my favorite.
It's great. We've seen it
I'm
a
a big
couple
music
times.
fan.
Yeah,
The Beatles is one of amazing.
it's a
Yeah.
great one. All right, last question about Las Vegas. People don't realize all the outdoor activities we have here. You got a favorite outdoor activity?
Ellie, you just
Oh,
cut out.
okay, yeah. Let me try again.
Oh,
Outdoor activity.
outdoor
Yeah,
activities.
outdoor activity. Do you have a favorite outdoor activity?
Mountain biking
Mountain biking.
in Red Rock.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
I can drive out of my house on my bike and get onto a trail and be out in the middle of desert and see animals and vegetation and the sky and the yeah. So I love mountain biking would
Yeah.
be my thing.
People don't realize all the outdoor. We have more trails in Summerlin, I think, in
Yeah,
Henderson. It's amazing. Yeah, it's great.
it
Well,
is
listen,
amazing.
man,
People
I
don't
want
realize
to.
that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks a bunch for taking the time, Chris. I know you're out back east and you're busy, but I really appreciate you taking the time, man. You're one of the
Oh,
good ones in this
my
town.
pleasure. On you too, Ellie. I really appreciate it. It was an honor to be on your show. Thank you so much.
All right,
I
sounds good.
appreciate
But
that.
have a good time over the weekend, and I will see
Thank
you when
you.
you get back.
I'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody. We'll see you later. Bye bye.